Thank you very much for welcoming me back again, and it's certainly fantastic to see the way Eastwood Hill and the whole of New Zealand is starting to really concentrate on bees. Bees an endangered species. Last year we asked this question, are they an endangered species? This year we actually confirm it. Around the world, bees are declining. Bees are reaching their tipping point because they're expected to perform in an increasingly inhospitable world. FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organisation, I've actually got a meeting with them next Friday talking about trying to get some help for some of our Pacific nations. And they estimate that out of the 100 crop species which provide 90% of food worldwide, over 70% of these are actually honeybee pollinated. In Europe alone, 84% of the 264 crop species are animal pollinated, and 4,000 vegetable varieties exist thanks to the pollination of bees. So they're pretty important. The production value of 1 tonne of pollinator-dependent crop is approximately 5 times higher than one of those crop categories that do not have insect pollination. So insects are really important to our food and sustainability. Since the arrival of Varroa in New Zealand, bees can no longer survive without the help of humans. And to be perfectly honest, we, humans in turn, would struggle to survive without bees. Bees and other pollinators seem to be declining globally, except in New Zealand. The stats are not actually saying that. We are having problems with hive numbers reducing, but because there's lots of wonderful new beekeepers out there chasing the Manuka gold rush, our actual stats are showing that our hive numbers and our beekeepers are actually increasing, which is unusual on the world scene as far as stats go. The demand for pollinators generally in a global sense is increasing faster than supply. This is due to growth and cultivation of high-value pollination-dependent crops. Loss of the feral pollinators and increasing agricultural intensification puts further pressure on pollinators through habitat destruction and reduced habitat diversity. And there's so much more. Agricultural crops and the fruits of the wild plant pollination increase the food available for insects, birds, mammals and fish, thereby directly contributing to the maintenance of our biodiversity. Bee pollination also helps to maintain plant productivity and vegetation cover. It contributes to many ecosystem services such as flood prevention, prevention of erosion, control of climate systems, water purification, nitrogen fixation, and of course the carbon, which is also important these days. Pollination is a key in our ecosystem service. In addition to food pollination, bees are key contributors to human well-being on our planet. Hence, now it's not just about a bit of green lobbying. The governments have started to realise, hey, this is really important. We've got to start looking after our bees. And they're out there ratifying, and this has really been one of the big trends that I've seen this year, that it's gone from the small green groups to more big organisations and governments all around the world that are putting their hand up to help save the bees or support our honeybees. Many factors are affecting bee health. There's, of course, sick bees, the diseases, the parasites, the viruses, weakening bees, hungry bees, bees in the industrial agricultural practices which are creating green deserts worldwide. Bees, like human, need a variety of food, that's pollen and nectar sources throughout the year. And of course, regrettably, there are lots of poison bees out there, especially a lot of the new neonicotinoids. Globally, millions of dollars are being spent on bee research. New databases and projects like the Colos Bee Book that standardises and shares global bee research are being very beneficial. We've got crazy new things like the ingenious virtual computer model called Behave, which simulates a beehive colony over the course of several years, and it's helping scientists try and unravel the complex causes of colony decline. Governments are now getting in behind. The British government is coming up with all sorts of wonderful things. In fact, I only heard yesterday that the British Heritage Lottery has pledged £1.3 million to a pollination project, which is about countrywide diversity. And in actual fact, New Zealand Forest and Bird have pledged $20,000 to getting bees back into schools. In Britain, they're wanting to get bee-friendly gardens back into 260 schools across the nation. EU, of course, has got a 2-year ban on the 3 major neonicotinoid groups, so we're hoping to get some sort of positive research out of that. And they're also pledging $20 million to the status of pollinators in Europe. USA is doing a whole lot of stuff, but this, as I say, the paradigm shift has been from just a few green lobby groups to governments taking this really seriously. It's been demonstrated that bees can be instrumental both in maintaining a natural system and as a tool to help foster stewardship over the land. So it's not just about a bit of honey, it's all the other stuff. New research from the USA has recently proven that bees do best when they're supplementary fed honey. Now go figure that. You know, commercial beekeepers around the world have been feeding artificial feed to their bees because they thought that was better for disease control and a whole lot of other reasons. Well, they spent a whole heap on research last year and came back that bees actually do best and they're not dying if they're actually left to have their own food, honey. Food security needs bee security. Overwhelming evidence has shown that bees are able to forage a plentiful and varied supply of nectar and pollen will stay healthy for longer. And we've just seen some research coming out of Avignon in France, which ratifies what Linda is doing, that quantity and quality are really important of the pollen and nectar sources that they are foraging, especially bees that are under stress. Trees for Bees research has proven one of the most beneficial means we have to help protect our bees, our main pollinators, from decline and help us preserve the magnificent country that we call home. Be part of the plan. Plant for pollinators, plant for our future, and preserve and conserve what we have. Few recommended sites. There are heaps and heaps of amazing things happening worldwide, and we want to be part of that. So I look forward to talking to people later and seeing how we can grow this project here in New Zealand. Thank you very much for your time.